Hello, and I'd like to welcome you over to our show. Here's a quick message from our sponsor. Over at Icebreakers Jersey Breaks, we are doing jersey breaks starting at $15. How that works, you will be able to pick a number 0 through 9. Once all the numbers are claimed, I will go live. I will give you guys the option of which boxes you would like. I will reveal what is inside each box, and if your number is the second digit on the jersey, you will win. So, for example, if this Joe Montana got pulled and you had 6, you would be the winner. Speaking of Joe Montana, that's going to be our first giveaway. How you can get entries is by joining the group and direct messaging me, Podcast JB, or you can invite a friend, and for each additional 3 after your first one, you will gain an additional entry. And then by joining a break, you gain entries for every break that you join. Once we reach 200 members and 5 breaks, or 16 breaks, we will draw a winner out of the hat and send this one out to you guys for free. There will be multi-sport and football only available, and there will be $100 personal breaks where you will get to pick which box you would like to open. I will reveal it and send it out to you guys. The breaks are starting at just $15 and going up from there. So don't forget, follow us on Instagram at IcebreakersJB and join the Facebook group Icebreakers Jersey Breaks. Thank you very much. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. It's called One Big Mess with Dylan Knowles. What we're going to be focusing on here is just general art in a lot of different forms. Comedy, storytelling, traditional art, culinary art, music, skateboarding, all kinds of different things we're going to be covering around here. Not necessarily today, but just throughout the episodes. Where the name One Big Mess comes from is I imagine all the episodes colliding into just one big collage at the end, and that's all. But today is going to be focused a lot on storytelling because it's just me. It's just me because I'm having some COVID symptoms, and I've just been quarantining the last couple days in my room. Pretty bored. Don't have a whole lot in here. I'm using a trash can to sit on right now, actually, with a poker set as the seat to stabilize it. But as time goes on and I get healthy again, we'll be able to upgrade and keep evolving the show. But yeah. Show you around the studio a little bit. Got this picture of me and my dad and my brother. Dad's passed away a couple years ago. I have 6 siblings, all younger than myself. Got a couple stickers that I got out in Seattle from this guy that I met, just that's out in the streets selling art. Got this Rick and Morty primitive skateboard deck, and then this signed Ndamukong Suh mini helmet as well. And as the show goes on, we'll keep adding more to the collection behind me and try and clear up some space. But a lot of the stories that are going to be going on today have to do with the items behind me. A lot of them have to do with my dad, and also just, yeah. But we'll start out with the pictures, or the stickers. So this one is called Wisdom, and And then this one is called Volcano Mountain. And I got both of them August 13th, 2017 in Seattle with my friend Brooke. We went on cross-country road trip a few years back out to California, up the coast into Washington, and then back over to Michigan, stopping in Montana on the way. And yeah, there was a lot of crazy things that happened in Seattle on that trip. I was only there for 2 days, but eventful 2 days. My phone that I had at the time broke in the hostel shower. I was listening to music and somebody came in, so I went to turn my music off after I turned my shower off, and my phone dropped right into the water and was broken. And so I have no pictures of Glacier National Park on my phone. But there was a couple other eventful things that happened there. There was a nice park that had something I'd never really seen before. It was a tire swing, basically, but on a downhill slant. So you just sit there and ride down the decline. But the craziest thing that happened out there was definitely meeting this guy. He called himself Rockstar to us. But we were just sitting in this park. They were having some sort of Trump rally going on, I believe. And so there was some cops and stuff over there. Weed was legal out there at the time, still is. So we were just sitting there minding our business, smoking a joint. And this guy comes up to us, asks if we can have a hit. So it's not my weed, it's my friend's. And she says, yeah, you can have a hit. And so he takes the joint and starts talking with us. And he goes, you see those guys over there? Referring to the cops. Says, yeah, I know those guys. They call me Rockstar. Because he had apparently been to a Metallica concert previously and met those guys, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but according to himself, well, honestly, he changed up the band 3 times, so who even knows? But yeah, did some longboarding out there, and then went down to the fish market. It was a pretty cool place. But other than that, not too much. Then having to do with my father, there was one time we went to Miami. It was like New Year's, right before New Year's, going into 2017, and Michigan was playing in the Orange Bowl down there against Florida State, and my dad had just moved down there. And so for my birthday, I was gonna move down there as well. For my birthday, I had decided to get tickets to the game, but then I moved back up to Michigan, but we still went down there for the game. It was me, my dad, and his friend Dave, and we went down there, and first off, we went over to a little seafood place. They had a fish sandwich over there, and I had some shrimps and whatnot, and then had some Cuban coffee to try that morning. Wasn't necessarily my thing, but coffee in general isn't really, so it was pretty strong. You only need a little swig of that to get you going, not a whole cup like that American stuff. But when we went to the Orange Bowl, my dad's friend decided to buy us a bunch of beers, and I was underage at the time, but yeah, so we got started, and Michigan was down pretty big in the first half, so I was just chugging them back like a fish. And then, come to find out the next morning, Michigan came back and made it a close game, but I don't remember any of that. I blacked out at halftime, man. I was just so sad to see them lose, and I came all the way down to Miami just to see these fuckers lose, man. What the hell? But, yeah, in that big mess, we had taken an Uber up to the game. We did not drive ourselves because we planned on drinking, and apparently on the way out, I was going up to all these different cars, pulling on the handle. Come on, open the car. Let's go up. Oh, that's what I hear the next morning, as well as the fact that I went in the bathroom, in the women's bathroom, at the game. Woke up the next morning with the worst hangover of my life. Threw up in the room, and then went down. We went to go over to Joe's Stone Crab, featured in Cocaine Cowboys. Fantastic place. The mahi mahi was off the chain. But outside of the restaurant, right after we parked, I thought I was going to get sick on the side of the road, but was able to hold it down. Got in there, got some water in me, got some fried food in me. Felt a lot better. And then that night, Snoop Dogg and Pitbull were putting on a little free show for the New Year's Eve celebration. Nelly was up there, Designer was up there performing Panda because it was the year that song got real big. But yeah, Nelly was there, Salt and Pepper were there, Snoop, Pitbull put on a good show. It was a lot of fun, honestly. I was dancing with this one chick. But went back, and then that was about the end of the trip. Went down for a couple walks and stuff by myself in the middle of all that, but nothing too crazy. Went over to South Beach for a little bit. Dave was trying to go to the strip club in the middle of the day. People were saying go Noles because the Florida State Seminoles were playing against Michigan, but my last name is Knowles, so we kept thinking they were talking to us. Another good story I got with Pops was 1 year for spring break. I was probably a junior at the time, a sophomore maybe, somewhere around there, but we went down to New Orleans for spring break, and they were having WrestleMania 30 down there that year. We didn't have a whole lot else going on plan-wise. We were just kind of finding stuff to do. We went to a Pelicans-Suns game when Anthony Davis was injured, so you can imagine how fun that was. But no, it was a good time. But WrestleMania was a good time as well. It was WrestleMania 30 where The Undertaker actually took his first WrestleMania loss to Brock Lesnar, and that was crazy to witness that. Daniel Bryan beat Triple H for the championship, and Randy Orton, I believe, in a triple threat match. They were just going in on him, and he somehow won. There was a tag team back then called The Shield. I went to the bathroom and missed their match. They won so fast. But then they had the Andre the Giant Royal Rumble. That was pretty crazy. There was a ton of different people in there. I think this dude named Cesaro ended up winning it. And then, yeah, that was that. But we went over to this famous cemetery down in New Orleans. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but some people might know what I'm talking about. went down by the water and they had a little food festival going on. My dad tried some oysters and clams and whatnot, but I wasn't adventurous enough to get into that. Um, and then, oh, I forgot that year was actually the same year that I won my PS4 because I picked UConn to win the national championship with Shabazz Napier, and they actually did it. And so I won a PlayStation 4 from my local radio station, and yeah, that was crazy. I watched the championship game down there. Uh, Something else related to Pops. We used to work at this restaurant called Pizza House out in East Lansing. He worked there for years. I worked there for a couple years, but he worked there all through pretty much my middle school and high school. Help my stepmom watch the younger siblings and whatnot during the day because she's a teacher. And so yeah, I was working there after he had left to move down to Florida, and this I was working in the kitchen at this position called Expo. What you do is you just like the chefs will make the food. It'll come out in a certain area. One end of the kitchen had the pizzas, one end had like the fried food and whatnot, and then another area in the middle had the salads. You would kind of tray it up for the servers and get their orders all ready for them so they could take it out to the table. And this dude came back, saw a bowl of lasagna, and needed mac and cheese for his order, and asked if the lasagna was mac and cheese. Like, I just don't know how that you possibly could mix those two up. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, that dude was something else, to say the least. Lots of crazy things happen to Pizza House. You'll hear plenty of stories about them over the coming episodes. But just got one little bit more to talk about tonight, and then we're gonna get this one on the road. Last little story I got for you guys is a pretty crazy one as well. I have a lot of them. Plenty more to where these came from. But so I was working at this utility company called the Board of Water and Light over in Lansing, where I'm from, and they pay pretty well over there, to say the least. One of my buddies, he sells cars on the side as well, and he went out to the casino and called Firekeepers in Battle Creek quite a bit. He spent some money out there. So they gave him a lot of like free rooms, free money to gamble with, and all this whatnot. We went in the little VIP area with him. I had a nice steak, like straight up. We ate like a $50 meal, and I tipped, and that was basically it. And paid like a couple dollars on top of that. We each had a steak, and it was delicious. But my buddy that got us the room had to be back that night, so me and this other dude were both temps over there, and we went with him. Me and the other temp, his name's Pete. We were the ones that he got the room for. So I was sitting down there gambling with Todd and whatnot, and Pete was pretty drunk. And so he decided to go back up to the room. And then I was sitting there hanging with Todd for a while, playing some roulette. And then he ended up heading out. And so I met up with these other dudes that one of my cousin's friends' brothers knew. And he just recognized me somehow. Like, I recognized him after he said something, but I never would have been able to, like, pick him out of a line or nothing like that unless he said something to me. But he ended up seeing me, and we went out in this parking lot and smoked a blunt. this dude, so I went in, actually, how I saw him was crazy enough. So I went into the VIP area trying to buy a cigar, and that's when I met him. He was like, yo, I think I know you. And they rolled up in like a $10 cigar, they rolled up a fucking blunt. And we went out to the car and smoked like half of it or whatever, a little bit more. And then came back in, I was playing some more roulette, and I was having a pretty good night gambling and whatnot. I think I started out kind of cold, but I ended up up like, I think I was up like 100 or so after I tipped everybody, gave my buddy gas for driving and whatnot, and paid for my drinks for the night before. But yeah, I was sitting there and I was ready to go back up to the room, and I can't find my key anywhere. I'm feeling around all my pockets and whatnot. I can't find that anywhere. So I'm calling up Pete, like, yo, please answer. This dude ain't answering. He passed out. And so at one point, I'm like, I called the other dude. I was like, yo, what you doing? And he was like, I'm already up in the room. And I was like, fuck. Because I thought I might have left my key out by their car. I went and looked like around their car, but I didn't see it out there. So I tried going to the front desk. I knew the guy's name that made the reservation, but he didn't put my name on the reservation, so I couldn't get another key. So I'm just screwed. And so I'm walking around. I'm like, I don't really feel like gambling anymore. I was already down, and I'm up. I don't really want to lose what I made back. And so I'm just walking around, getting tired, calling Pete, texting Pete, hoping this dude wakes up. And luckily, I call him one time like 4:35 in the morning, and thank God, he had answered. He had gotten up to like go to the bathroom or something like that. But I was just so happy and so relieved that he answered that time. I was ready to try and fall asleep in the stall in the bathroom. I was so tired. And yeah, I woke up the next morning. This dude took a picture of him fucking cuddling me in the middle of the night when I was sleeping. Jesus, man. I can't remember what they called me at work the next day, or the next week, but it was pretty funny. Definitely a crazy experience, though. I've never really stayed in a hotel at the casino before that, so what an experience for the first time, huh? But that's about that for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure you go check out our sponsor over at Icebreakers Jersey Breaks. Just wanted to clear up a couple more things before I head out. I know I mentioned that I was dealing with some COVID symptoms earlier in the episode, but physically I'm not feeling too bad. I had a little bit of a fever yesterday, but haven't felt too bad today. It's just been mainly loss of taste and smell, so hopefully results come back shortly and I have a speedy recovery. But other than that, thank you very much for checking out the show, and this is One Big Mess.